Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Return of the Shredder. I'm Raphael, one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the funkiest reptile you're ever likely to meet. When my mad side takes over, man, watch out. Like I am a turtle driven. But I never forget what my main job is: to protect our master Splinter and try to return him to his human form. I learned my lesson the time the Shredder and Krang were sucked through the dimensional portal and into Dimension X. For a while there, I thought we were safe, and we almost got a little careless. I should have known even Krang would get sick of the Shredder. The four Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had just returned from a run-in with some punks at the supermarket and were now busy fixing pizza toppings, cucumbers and honey, whipped cream and pickles, and mustard and jam. Their master Splinter sat meditating nearby. "Those dudes at the store weren't much of a workout, not like the evil Shredder's foot ninjas," said Michelangelo. "Lucky for us, the Shredder is stuck in Dimension X, along with that brain creature Krang," Donatello added. At that very moment, in Dimension X, the Shredder was begging Krang to send him back to Earth. Krang snarled, "I'm tired of all your whining. I think I will send you back." He thrust a communicator at Shredder. "Now go," Krang said, "and this time put an end to the turtles." He smiled evilly as Shredder disappeared into a portal and back to Earth. In his sewer home, Splinter's eyes opened suddenly. "No," he muttered. "What is it, Master?" asked the turtles. Splinter frowned. "I have a terrible feeling. My lifelong enemy, Saki, the Shredder, is about to return." "That's impossible. He was sucked into Dimension X," said Michelangelo. "Evil that strong cannot be so easily overcome," whispered Splinter. Sure enough, the Shredder had just reappeared on Earth. He quickly spoke into his communicator. "Where is my army, Krang? My weapons?" "You failed before to defeat those turtles and their teacher Splinter with my help," Krang roared. "Now you must destroy them on your own." Shredder explored around and soon came across a training gym for would-be ninjas called a dojo. He burst into the room. "I am the master teacher now," he announced to the startled class, "and you will obey my every command." He tossed a punching bag in the air and ripped it to shreds in one smooth motion. The frightened teacher and students bowed down to Shredder. You're the boss," they said, trembling. Meanwhile, at the Channel 6 newsroom, the Turtles' friend April O'Neil was having trouble with her boss. "Where's your report on those turtles?" he said to April. "Get going. They're the greatest threat our city has ever faced." "The turtles aren't a threat," the ace reporter insisted. "They just want to be left alone." She turned and stomped out of the room. "I'll get you a story, all right. One that proves the turtles are heroes." After hours of strict training by Shredder, the ninja students were ready for action. The Shredder gave each one a fake green turtle suit. "You are now members of the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang," the Shredder told the ninjas. "You will wear these suits when we strike, and strike we shall." True to the Shredder's word, the disguised ninjas made their way to a bank and surrounded the customers waiting in line. "Nobody move," called the leader. "We're the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang." The bank teller handed over bags of money, and the gang fled. They repeated their crimes in a supermarket and a jewelry store. "Remember, we're the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang," the leader snarled each time, handing a business card to the store manager. The Channel 6 news van was driving by just then. It screeched to a halt as April saw some masked teenagers run by. "That jewelry store has just been robbed. Make sure to get some film of the robbers," she said to the cameraman. April's fellow reporter smirked. "Those robbers were teen, ninjas, and green. They have to be those awful Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." April groaned. "They can't possibly be my turtle friends," she said to herself. Or were they? Meanwhile, the Shredder was busy speaking to Krang. "My fake turtle ninjas have been terrorizing the city with a crime spree," he said to the brain. "Now the real turtles will be forced to the surface to clear their names." "But that will take forever," cried Krang. "I want results now." Shredder knew he had just one place to turn. He went to the inventor Baxter Stockman, who had helped him in the past, and demanded that Baxter build a rat catcher. With Shredder's aid, Baxter broke into a maintenance yard and stole a truck used for tunnel digging. "When I'm finished redesigning this machine, not a rat in this city will be safe," Baxter assured the Shredder. "Especially Splinter," the Shredder said. Donatello was busy tinkering with his van when April called on a two-way radio. "Hurry down to the newsroom. You turtles are about to be declared public enemy #1, she said. "We'll be right there," Donatello promised, and he and the other turtles got their blimp ready for the nighttime trip. After they sneaked into the newsroom, April played the video of the fake ninja gang's getaway from the jewelry store. "There's something familiar about those guys' techniques," Michelangelo said with a frown. "You're right," agreed Leonardo. "Only 2 teachers could have taught them that. Splinter or Shredder." And the turtles knew it couldn't be Splinter. Splinter, in fact, was meditating quietly in the apartment. All of a sudden, he heard a rumbling, and then crash! A giant hole appeared in the wall as a strange-looking machine bored right into the room and came straight for Splinter. The rat recognized the driver. "Baxter!" he cried. "There's no use running from my rat-catching machine," Baxter said with a sneer. "Here I come!" With a mighty clank, he scooped up Splinter and drove off. When the turtles returned to their apartment, bursting to tell Splinter about the Crooked Ninja Turtle gang, they discovered the terrible damage. "Splinter's gone. This has to be Shredder's doing," said Michelangelo. "Either that or some totally huge termite," added Raphael. The foursome grabbed their weapons and followed Baxter's trail of destruction through the sewer. "Here's where the trail ends," Leonardo said, poking his head above ground into a seemingly deserted junkyard. "And where the trouble begins," said Michelangelo, looking up at the crooked ninjas. "Oh yeah, come and get me, hot shots," Leonardo taunted the punks as he waved his swords. The crooked ninjas were no match for the real turtles. Raphael pried open oil drums and tossed some of the punks inside. Donatello used his bow staff to flip rubber tires over the other gang members, trapping them with a satisfying thunk. "Where's Shredder?" Leonardo demanded. "He said you should meet him at the dojo, if you dare," said the crooks. "We do," the turtles said together. When the turtles entered the training gym, they saw that Shredder had tied up poor Splinter against a wall. "No matter what you do to me, my turtles will defeat you, Shredder," the rat said bravely. The evil Shredder laughed when he saw the turtles. "Take one more step, and it'll be the end of your furry friend," he hissed and pointed toward the ceiling. The turtles looked up to see an enormous battering ram suspended by a rope and aimed directly at Splinter. "None of us can stop that thing," cried Leonardo. The Shredder raised his sword and touched the rope holding back the battering ram. Your master is about to become history, he said. Just then there was an ominous rumbling, followed by a giant crash, and Baxter came right through the wall in his rat-catching vehicle. Bummer, guys, said Raphael. Like we've got us a heavy-duty problemo. Let's go for it, fellows. Wham! Leonardo's sword slashed Baxter's tires. Snap! Donatello's bow broke through the machine's grasping hooks. Crunch! Raphael's sai destroyed the pincers. Clang! Michelangelo's nunchakas dented the machine's metal body. Help! Save me! Baxter yelled, leaping out. This thing is out of control! Raphael hopped into the machine to try to stop its course. In a rage, the shredder slashed the rope that held the battering ram. Just as quickly, Leonardo sliced Splinter's ropes to free his master. Raphael tried to block the battering ram with Baxter's machine. It's no use. There's not enough time, gasped Splinter. Jump out, Raphael. I'm jumping, Raphael shouted. Boom! The battering ram smashed into the machine before it could smash Splinter and Leonardo. The two fell down to avoid the mighty explosion. You have done well, my students, Splinter said gratefully. He and the turtles looked up just in time to see Shredder grab Baxter and disappear into a hole. You haven't seen the last of me, mutants, Shredder called. The wail of the police siren sent the turtles and Splinter scrambling out of sight as well. That night, April was pleased to report on the news that the notorious Crooked Ninja Turtle gang had been captured and shown to be a fake. This proves that there's no such thing as a green turtle menace, she concluded. No one knows the identity of the real green heroes who stopped this crime spree, but whoever you are, thanks. She winked at Splinter and the turtles, now safe at home, and they winked back.